What's up, guys? Welcome back to the last part on What If Deku Was Transported to danmachi, part 15. This is going to be the end of Season 1. If you guys want a Season 2, if a Season 2 just interests you, or you really want it, then, okay, I'll start a Season 2. If this video gets 200 likes, Season 2 will come out on the 1st of 2021. So, if this gets 200 likes in the next week, I'm going to set a deadline for the next week, Season 2 will come out. So, let me just go into announcements. The Minecraft event thing, that happened, and hopefully it'll eventually work to publish. It's being kind of annoying currently, so go check out the description, see if I got it to work, and if it does work and there's actually audio, rather than being uploaded without audio for the 4th time, go check it out. It's an hour and a minute long. Maybe it might be a little bit too long for you, but it was a pretty fun event with multiple other What If YouTubers and other YouTubers in general. So if you like that, go check it out. Now, currently next Sunday, I'm gonna be hosting Among Us. So if you guys interest you on that, go join the Discord down below, and we can play some Among Us together next Sunday. Of course, you know, it's going to be the first 10 people who DM me over on Discord. So if you wish to be a part of it, go ahead and go DM me. Speaking of Discords, you know, I'm going to just go ahead and shout out the people who joined in between videos. Thank you, Dumb Nuts, Rat YWYZ, Heart Kid Minato Heart, Cryaton 53 Dam, Tapu Uchiha, Daniel Cromack, Black Rose, Era of Time, Lucid Rimuru, Golden Reaper What Ifs, Ludi 094, Just Clark 575, OP360, Ron 5543, Obamadura, Craig Hams 11, Dragon, What If Noob. Thank you all for joining the Discord. Once again, go ahead and join the Discord down below. We talk, we chill. You can probably find me over there. You know, I play games with fans when they ask if they just want to go play a game, you know, and I'm on. I'll be like, yeah, I'm down to play a game. So if that interests you and you think it would be fun to like play games, hang out, chat, post your what if ideas, post artwork down there, then go ahead and go check it out. Speaking of checking things out, go check out my joint channel I run with a couple other YouTuber buddies of mine. I just uploaded my first personal video over there, which is a review of the anime Card Fight Vanguard, or at least the first arc of Card Fight Vanguard. So if that interests you and you think you would like to actually go check it out, then please go ahead and do so. No one's stopping you, you know? And let's jump straight into this what if. Where we last left off, Deku was currently helping out the Hestia Familia with the war games that was going on between them and the Ares Familia. For some reason, a weird man teleported Izuku outside into a barren area, and this area seemed to have another guy. This guy nicknamed the King stared down Izuku. Apparently, this man's goddess was interested in Izuku and wanted to give him a little test, which Izuku found very not necessary. So he decided to try and teleport. Randomly, before he could teleport, he saw a cloaked man. This cloaked man had a spell. Izuku quickly realized that his teleportation wasn't working, much to his dismay. Then the king chimed in saying, "Oh, we know about your teleportation magic. So we specifically got a spell that counteracts space magic in general. That includes your teleportation, by the way." Izuku gritted his teeth, knowing that he didn't have time to mess around with this hulking Goliath of a man. He had to get back and quickly help Belle. Keen then said, "Don't worry about all the rest of the people there. The Apollo Familiar was gonna fail from the start. We were just there so we can intercept you. What's so different about me? See, our goddess has the ability to see souls. And she saw that your soul was rather unique compared to the basic living people among this world. So she decided that you would make a worthy person for her to check out." Izuku was very confused about this. And eventually, the King sighed and stated, "You see, kid, I just want to state, I have no qualms against you. I have no qualms about anyone, really. I only do as my goddess is told. And your goddess just told you to hunt down a random adventurer? So you did so? Kid, this is my job. I'm here to test you. Not care about the quantity of the reasonings for testing, much less than you care about the quantity of reasonings for you joining in this game. I joined to test you, you joined to help your friends. We both joined for different reasons, don't get me wrong, but we both did join." Izuku slowly started to, make a weird mouth motion. He knew that this man was dangerous. He could tell just from looking at the man that stood in front of him. So Izuku asked the man, "So, how are you gonna test me? Fight me one-on-one? See if I can survive to meet your expectations?" "No, you see, doing that's boring. Even though that's probably what my goddess wants me to do, that's not what I want to do. Testing you that way is no more than testing anything else. So then, what do you want me to do?" "Well, you see, you, my good sir, are a very smart and useful guy. So, what I want to do with you is something very simple. Keen it to be just some simple fights." "So you do just want to fight me?" "Yeah, in essence, kid. Can you blame me for such? Fighting you is kind of my job, Not fighting you is kind of useless. So, since fighting you is what I'm here to do, I might as well do as such." "Okay, so what's the purpose?" "On go, we'll fight. You will come after me, and prepare yourself because I'm gonna come after you twice as hard." Izuku, once again, realizing that all he has to do is really not fight the man in front of him, but fight the guy that's blocking his exit, agreed. The king was very confused, figuring that Izuku was gonna be way more, defensive about this situation, especially because of how much he talked up him being a hero. Maybe the boy was lying, the king thought. The king then decided to quickly come at Izuku. Izuku dodged. Looking towards where the king was, he could see nothing but a pile of dust. Izuku deduced that the king seemed to be very strong, stronger than almost anything he's fought before, even stronger than the juggernaut that he just recently fought and got over being injured. And then Izuku thought about how his goddess is going to murder him for A, getting into another very dangerous fight, and for B, this fight taking place when he was meant to do something that he literally begged and asked to be able to do. Izuku started to get quite annoyed after realizing this, with the man charging at him once again. Izuku looked towards the man and said, "You really think you're just going to be able to fight me?" This confused him, as Izuku, using some fire spells, quickly created a smokescreen. The man got caught up in the smokescreen and wasn't able to actually see through it. Eventually, he cut through it and saw that Izuku wasn't there anymore. This confused the man very greatly, until he turned around and saw Izuku already there. Izuku had been working on time-based spells. He mainly wanted to work on a time-based spell just so he could, well, easily handle opponents that seemed to be way bigger and stronger than him in every single way imaginable. Izuku quickly looked around trying to see what else he can do and realized that there wasn't much else that he needed to do. The man himself was going to die real soon, especially if Izuku's plans worked. Even though Izuku's not into killing, he knew that time-based spells really didn't count as killing, more as rewinding to a point where they never existed. Izuku touched the man. The man slowly started to be rewinding. The man noticed this, though, and quickly took a swipe at Izuku, causing Izuku to jump back. This annoyed Izuku for multiple reasons, one of the main ones being that he was actually kind of close. The man had rewinded to an earlier point in his life. He was way younger looking, but what Izuku didn't expect is that meant this man was a lot stronger than he was before. He quickly tried to punch Izuku. His punches seemed to be twice as quick. Izuku realized that this man probably was way weaker when he was older compared to when he was younger, and almost found himself as an idiot for thinking it was going to be just that easy. He quickly ran. He ducked behind some rocks that were in the nearby area, but the man destroyed them in one punch. This annoyed Izuku greatly, because he knew that the man probably wouldn't have been able to actually do anything if it wasn't for his own stupidity and the actions that he decided to take. He then decided to wonder how he should actually fight the man. The man seemed to be very, how to say this, very well off in the defense bracket as well as the offense, but doesn't seem to bolster much for magic capabilities, which kind of shocked Izuku, but Izuku understood that if the man just trained all, well, strength and physical feats, that of course he shouldn't be able to have anything that's outside of strength and physical capabilities. Izuku looked around to see what he could do, and noticed that the man nearby him was actually relatively weak. Not the one he was fighting, of course, which called himself the King, but the other one. The one who was erecting the space barrier that made Izuku not be able to actually do anything. This meant Izuku could just relatively take out the space barrier guy, and ended up actually winning the fight basically because he could just teleport out. Izuku then quickly looked towards the guy, and the guy almost knew what Izuku was thinking, but sadly for him, Izuku used another time-based spell. He was almost out of all of his power at this point, but he quickly teleported over to the man. Well, not teleport as much as slow down time enough for him to quickly run over. This confused the man because he thought he had blocked all of Izuku's time-based magic. I mean, not time-based, but his spell-based magic, but he didn't understand that Izuku didn't only have spell-based magic. I mean, space-based magic. Deku was able to real quickly punch the man in the gut, sending him flying into the nearby tree. He looked back at the buff guy, who called himself King, and Deku told the man that he should really think more about his actions rather than trying to attack some random adventurer. Especially if this is what his goddess wants him to do, then he should probably rethink of his goddess's actions. Gods are only as strong as mortals, Izuku then said, as he quickly teleported out. He was able instead thankfully teleport back into the area where everyone else was. Bell very confused on where Izuku went. Izuku then explained that he had a run-in with an enemy that he had to fight solo after he got teleported away by them. This confused Bell even more, but Bell understood that he really shouldn't ask Izuku. There was no point on asking him, because Izuku obviously didn't know what actually happened during the time he was gone. Bell then ended up saying that not much actually happened, and that was actually quite peaceful while Izuku was gone, which Izuku was grateful for. He knew that if anything did happen, that they would probably be in trouble. Bell then stated that they found out where the captain was and that they were about to go attack him. Izuku was about to say who when he suddenly heard a giant explosion. This was totally off of Izuku's plan, so he didn't know what was going on currently. So he quickly checked to see who was attacking, and saw that it was actually the guy he knew as Welf, as well as the small girl Izuku knew was Lily now. Izuku almost wanted to curse them both for their stupid actions. Izuku then quickly teleported over there and found the man that was apparently the captain, and quickly took the man out. The man ended up being defeated relatively easy, which almost shocked Izuku. Literally. Everyone else was watching the fight, and even watched the fight between Izuku and the king, and they realized that Izuku was obviously not dumb, and even found a way around spatial magic, which shocked most of them. Of course, almost none of them knew it was a time-based magic, and almost no one knew that Izuku literally was on the verge of a mind down. And still is. Izuku looked towards the two people with a very stern face as both of them kind of rubbed the back of their heads. The War Games was declared in the winner's favor of Izuku as well as the Hestia Familia. Eventually, Izuku met back up with his goddess, and he told his goddess what happened. Loki already knew what happened with the whole entire Freya situation, and decided to tell Izuku not to worry about it for now, because she was going to have a personal conversation with her. This confused Izuku, mainly because he didn't understand what she meant by have a personal conversation with Freya. Of course, he did kind of understand what she most likely meant by it though, which scared Izuku more than he would have liked to admit. Of course, the fear was not for himself, of course, but being more of a fear about the rest of the Loki Familia and the Freya Familia. Mainly because he had realized that he was the target of that fight, which caused him to think about if the Freya Familiar decided to attack him again, or decided to attack his whole entire Familia again, which he was slowly starting to think of more of like a family, then he would have to, well, defend, to say the least and the most at the same time. Afterwards, Izuku ended up walking with Loki back to the rest of the Familia. And Loki decided to get Izuku a drink or two, even though Izuku still stated that he didn't drink and that Loki should really start to remember this by now. Which Loki once again laughed off, telling him that he doesn't need to drink, because he's not drinking. Which confused Izuku as Loki laughed and then said, "Kid, no one's gonna care if you take a drink here. This is your world. This isn't your world. Remind yourself about that." Izuku sighed and decided to take a light sip, but found that the taste of, well, alcohol was utterly disgusting, and then decided against it for the rest of his time here. Izuku then looked around and saw that not much of the other Familia was there. He understood that Most of them were actually in the middle of doing a job, so he understood why most of them weren't here, but the few that were Izuku's more closer friends, if you could call them as such, in the Familia. He also noticed Bell and everyone else roll up, which Izuku was pretty happy about. Izuku called Bell, Lily, as well as Welf all over to his table. Welf and Lily got into an argument throughout the night, while Bell and Izuku calmly discussed. Aiz was in the background as well, listening to the entire conversation, staring more at Izuku than she thought that she really should, but couldn't find a reason to stop. Izuku looked back and kindly smiled at Aiz, which made Aiz even more confused about the situation. She didn't know what she was exactly feeling, but she at least knew that was something. Later on, Izuku and after Bell and everyone else left, Izuku and Aiz were the only ones still sitting there. It was about to reach sundown, so Izuku decided to invite Aiz out for a nice walk. Sundown was the best time of night, and Izuku decided that it would be a pretty well-off thing for him and Aiz to do. Izuku and Aiz both took a walk. It was a pretty relaxing one. Izuku found comfort in Aiz's company and decided that he's not an idiot when he comes to his own feelings. So, he took Aiz up to the top of a hilltop outside the city. The sun was about to set as a nice oak tree was to their left. Izuku looked Aiz straight in the eyes and said, "Aiz, I love you. Will you go out with me?" Aiz didn't know what to say at this point. She was still kind of confused about her own emotions. But she decided if anyone she was willing to take the trip with, it would most likely be Izuku. So she responded with yes. And Aiz and Izuku hugged there underneath the tree. And that's where I'm going to leave it off, guys. If you liked it, hit the like button. Once again, like I said, if we reach 200 likes on this video in a week, we will start season 2 on the 1st of January next year. So if that sounds like something you all want to see, you know what I said. Hit the like button. And the subscribe button too while you're at it. And until next time, goodbye.